So my question was for Valet, and I know you will talk about this more in May, but I'm just trying to wrap my brain around it. Is it something that you see an individual tester using? Like, I work from home, so is that something I would have here, or is it more for a group of a QA team in a big organization, and they have that physical device there? And okay, maybe answer that one first, and then I'll ask.
So you asked if it's like an either or, individual or small team. I guess my joke answer is like yes. I think the way we're originally been on quite a journey in the last month. I announced something last month, like a very large scale idea of getting like every phone on the planet is going to be plugged into one of these things, right? But how do you bootstrap? They call it the cold start problem. Like, how do you actually get? You can't get to 1 billion until you get 1 to 10 and 100. The idea would be to get small teams. It's kind of like everyone already has a phone. I bet I'm counting up the number of people in the room. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's going to be 8 mobile phones in that room, guaranteed, right? Right. Yeah. So no matter what cloud service exists, so there you go. No matter what cloud service exists,
2 more at home.
You'll always have a phone on you. And so if you're a team of 10, or 2 to 10, let's say,
I didn't bring the computer,
and you basically, like, if you're a small team, you already have like a little mini device cloud, but no one's figured out how to like kind of network just the phones that you have amongst your teammates together. And so there's this kind of idea of, if you're familiar with like Tailscale or WireGuard, where you could create a little small secure network of like your own little private VPN of just your teammates. The idea would be potentially, and maybe not your primary driver. It's kind of assuming that you have a second test device, like Lana's holding up 2 phones. So maybe you have one dedicated to testing that maybe
it's waiting for Valet.
Right. So maybe like if you're in one city and your teammate is in a different city, let's say you have an iPhone and your teammate has an Android, you can both plug these things into it. And then you could do a test on their phone. They could do a test on your phone, and you would have a secure network, kind of like, it's almost like a little mini cloud of just your devices. And again, it's one of those things of like, it's not an either or, it's more of a both and. You'll probably still use a cloud service, but it's kind of like the reality is everyone's going to have their own phone anyway, and we're trying to find a way to kind of get use out of that. And so there's a lot of different strategies and tactics that we're still figuring out on how to actually do that. One big thing I have to do is drive the cost of this thing like way down to the ground, so then that's not a blocker. It's already expensive to buy a phone, so I don't want it to be even more expensive to do it. I think there's probably some other version of this down the road that it could just be an app that's running on your phone, maybe. But right now, having it be this kind of minimal circuit board is kind of where I'm at now. I don't know.
Makes
kind
sense.
Of like where I'm like, the first Apple computer was pretty ugly. It wasn't even a computer. They just sold the circuit board, right? If you see an original Apple computer on eBay, it's because someone literally built a wooden box around it. This is kind of the ugly wooden box version of this stuff. But the goal is, though, to just make mobile testing just like plug and play, right? Because right now the setup required, there's a lot. Even though Lana has done an amazing job being very good about detailing every little bit of that, so I do not want to take away from that at all. That effectively is the blueprint and like the template for kind of getting all those bits installed into some operating system.